Yeah, okay, start. Okay, so welcome guys for this day 3 of our regular sessions on introduction to quantum computation. And the topics I will be covering today will be something like that. So, superposition of states. Like I told you earlier, that quantum states can be in superposition as well. So we will be covering that. Then measurement of state, like after superposition, how we measure that quantum state, or what do we measure for that. And then I'll be going through some vector space to vector space transformation, and connecting them to the quantum gates. Then I will be going through some representation of multiple qubit state. Like you had that zero state as 1 0 and one state as 0 1, right? So for, like, say 0 0, what will be the vector space representation for that, vector representation for that? We will be looking that also, and then we will be working on superposition qubit. The two files I gave you are the Qiskit files, like Python files, in which we will be working with Qiskit. So that's why I asked you to upload that, so that we can you guys can work with me, like something. Okay, so for this, let's start with the superpositions. I will use my uh, whiteboard for this. Okay. Let's make a new file. Okay, so this is starting with day 3. Let's see. Okay, so superposition. Can you guys tell me what do you know about superposition? Just unmute yourself and tell me what do you know about superposition. Panda? I won't be able to see your messages, right? I'm on my this whiteboard screen. I won't be able to see your messages, so you will have to unmute yourself and tell me about this when I ask questions. Like, just unmute yourself and tell no if you don't know anything about it.
Addition or
Am I
something.
audible? Yeah, okay. I thought I'm not audible. So, superposition means being in different, different state, different places, different momentum, and other physical quantity at the same time. Like, uh, like for a quantum particle, let's for a any general particle. Let's say a particle is supposed to be here and here also. Like it can be here and here also. There is some probability, like it will be here, here, and here also, something like that. Probability of okay, wait, the particle should be here or here also. So the particle don't have a distinct place defined, so we call it in a superposition. This particle is in superposition state, and it can be found anywhere here in this thing. Like let's make an envelope like something here, and it can be found in any places, and it has highest probability to be here. So in superposition, we don't know the actual physical quantity of the particle. We just know that its probability of being at some state. Like uh, like like imagine a particle. Uh, let's say we have a hill, something like this. Imagine a ball. Okay, so imagine a ball, this thing, red ball, and it it can be here and here also. Like we don't know anything about it. It can be at two places. Like it has the least energy. Okay, I should not give you this thing. Like it connects to the two state of that. quantum, but I shouldn't give you that. So in simple terms, superposition means being in being in multiple state at the same time. Like let's say we have a number line. So particle can be at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the same time, and particles can be at multiple positions. Like say if we define a state as position, it can be in different position at the same time. So that's called superposition. For our case, we are using qubits, right? We are using psi is equal to x into 0 plus y into 1. So our states are this two, 0 and 1. So the superposition of a qubit will be being in this state as well as this state at the same time. Our qubit will be in spin up and spin down at the same time. Something like superposition. Like it will be in this state as well and as in this state. Until and unless we measure it, it won't be determined. It will be in superposition like this. Okay, so how do we measure this superposition? Different type of qubits had different type of measurement technique. Like that photon thing, we can make it as that uh, p orientation and s orientation. We can define them as our states, and we can take like this, like s plate and that p plate, and measure if it's s or p, something like that. Okay, let's see an example of it. The example won't be exactly what we need for quantum qubit, but it will give you some some like intuition about it. Imagine a photon that's oriented in like this, polarized in this direction. Let's imagine this is x and this is y. And if you put a polarizer in this direction, this is polarizer. Okay. So let's imagine this is theta. So what will be the probability of like its intensity I? What will be intensity we will getting at here? It will be I cos theta square, right? But if we see on a particle scale, let's say a photon is in this superposition, and we are asking it to pass through this. What will it be? It will do like a single photon is in this direction. How can we say that it will pass from this? You guys can unmute yourself and tell me if you have any answer for this. Like we have a single, like if we give intensity I, we will be getting this thing, right? Intensity of this thing, if we measure it here. But if we only have one photon, how can we say that this thing will go from this, or it will be absorbed by this polarizer? Are you getting my point? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So just tell me what's your explanation for this thing? Like classically, what's the explanation for this thing? Or quantum and quantum mechanics as well. Like how a single photon in this direction will pass from this thing, like polarizes in this direction.
I think the matter wave will get polarized.
What?
The matter wave of the photon.
Okay, so it's something like that, but we don't need the actual answer here. Okay, so what I wanted you to understand that this photon will pass from this with a probability of this cos theta. This photon will have a probability of passing from this. It will change the direction, and the probability of passing of this particle passing from this polarizer will be this cos square theta. So a single particle has cos square theta probability of passing. That's why we get an intensity as this. Like numbers of particles are, like say n number of particles is passing, has been released, and each one has a probability of cos square theta to be passing from this polarizer, and that's why we get intensity as like I cos square theta. So we are, if we think this as our qubit, okay, so it's a vague connection, but let's assume that this is our qubit. So it has a cos square theta probability in being in this state. And if we like say, if we say that our x polarizer is our one state and our y polarizer is zero state, okay, so this thing when passed through a polarizer will collapse in this or get absorbed, right? Imagine I sent a photon like this, and we have a polarizer than this. And it passes from it. It will collapse in this state. It will no longer be in a superposition like something that has a probability of passing from this as in cos square theta, and probability of being in that y polarization with sine square theta. It will collapse in a state where it has 100% probability of being in this x polarization. Let's say it's x polarization. So when we measure a qubit, we destroy its superposition. If we consider this as our superposition, we destroy its superposition while measuring it. So this thing is very important, that we destroy the superposition in measuring. And so before measuring, we have to do all our things, and if we measure, we just make that qubit collapse in one of the states. So connecting it with qubit, we have a state 0 and a state 1. Let's say they are in superposition with probability this and have some probability this. When we measure it, like in that classical register, when we measure it, if is it zero state or in one state, we collapse it in a certain state. It will be 0 from there, or it will be 1 from there. We can't make it, we can't get this superposition back after measuring. The superposition is lost. Let's see this with using a particle in quantum harmonic well, like a quantum particle in harmonic well. Okay, so harmonic well looks something like this. It's function of x square, order of x square. Okay, so it's looks something like this. Okay, and the quantum particle has a probability of being in position like this, something like this. Okay, so the particle can be anywhere in this place with a probability this. Like said, let's say this is your psi square. This is your psi square. Then probability of particle being in this position will be area of this curve right there. Probability of being of particle being in position between this will be your state like this. You will study this in your quantum mechanics class. Okay, so I'm just giving you a preview or something like that. So the quantum particle always have a probability of being in state because it's always in superposition. You read about that mm, Heisenberg uncertainty principle, right? So it also says that if you have a fixed energy, like if you have a fixed, your position will be undefined. You can't measure the position because it will be in superposition state. Okay, so our particle in superposition, just like this. It's in here our position was in superposition, but as we are as and if we measure, like say this was our, like this is our position, and this is our probability. Imagine we take a camera, like some quantum particle camera, and we snap a photo out of it. Means we just measure that where the particle actually is. Okay, so if we measure all the position at same time, the particle, let's say the particle is here, the particle is at this point, so this wave function will collapse at this state. It will be something like this everywhere zero, because we measure it the probability of being at this state will be zero. We measure that the particle is exactly here, like exactly here. So probability of being in at that position will be infinity, like will be one, right? Probability of being in this position will be one. So the probability curve will look something like this, as probability of being anywhere else is zero, and being at this position is one. So your curve will press. So this is what we call function collapse. Initially, we had a function that looked like this, and when we measured the position of that state of that particle, we made it collapse in a state where it looked like this, because we then know the position of that quantum particle. So the same thing happens with our qubit as well. Our qubit is in superposition state, like say x 1 plus y 0. Then when we let's say when we measure it, different quantum qubits have different kind of measurement technique. So let's say we are using that condensed artificial atom qubit. So uh, we measure it with electrical current, I say, electrical signal. I don't know actually that. So when we measure it, it will collapse in some state. So at in the classical register, we will get a spike in current, or if it's zero, we will not get anything, like it will be in zero state only. So when we measure it, we collapse it and say it won't be in a superposition of 1 and 0. Okay, did you guys understand this? Like you get this one?
Would you please repeat this part again?
This one. Okay,
Yeah.
so in condense in that artificial atom thing, like condensed matter chip, we what we do is we make this thing go into a classical register. Like this is quantum register. Okay, this qubit is the quantum register, quantum bit. So we make this thing measured in classical bit. This is classical bit. Let's say blue one is the classical bit. So a classical bit can only have two state, right? 0 and 1. So when we make the measurement, that is it 1 or 0, it collapse in one of the state by giving it 1, or this is let's say this is 1 and this is 0. We can't measure the this thing, like superposition of this thing. only the thing we can measure is this. Like let's say, imagine that this thing is a photon. It's in superposition, and this is X polarizer, and this is Y polarizer. No, something like this. This is X polarized, and this is Y polarized. So when we measure this thing, imagine this as our X polarizer. So if this superposition of in being in this and this state of a quantum of that photon, I said that the photon is when passed from a polarizer, it will have some probability in being this state, right? Or it will be in this state, or it will just get absorbed by this polarizer, and we won't get any output, right? I told you for one photon, it will pass with some probability, or it won't be there at all, because it will be absorbed by this thing, right? So same thing, if we correlate with this this condensed matter circuit thing. So if this thing if this thing is one, like if this thing collapse at a state 0, then we will get a current spike. Okay, wait. If it collapse at state 0, we won't be able to get any current spike. And if it collapse in one state, we will get a current spike, making it as 1. Did you understand this?
Okay, understood.
So just relate it from here. Imagine that there you have a photon resistor which captures this photon and convert it into signal. Okay, so if this thing get passed, this photon resistor will capture this photon and give a energy spike like this. And if it doesn't pass, it will be the signal will be something like this, means no current, no current will be generated. So this is for the, I don't know actually if this thing the qubit for photon thing works like this, but you can get the analogy from here. Okay, so now you know means how the upper layer of measurement thing works. Okay, how these things collapse. You will see how you will learn about this collapse of states
Can
in
you
your.
explain this again?
Which one?
That's
This
the
one.
connectivity used. Thing.
Between these thing and these.
Condensed matter circuit.
Okay, in this one.
Yes.
Yeah. So if it's in 0 state, 0 quantum state, this thing 1 0, then classical register. This is classical register won't get any current pass. Won't get any current signal. So when in a classical bit there is no current, it's considered as zero state. And when the quantum state collapse to a one state, this quantum bits collapse to a one state, it will give this classical register a current signal. And a current signal in classical register is considered to be one state, right? So imagine a classical register. So this is in 0 state. If it has a something like 5 milliampere current, then it's considered to be in one state. So it collapses in a state, and we measure it using the classical register. Did you get the thing? You will learn about this in later classes. I will take a class on this, how the measurement thing works as well. This is just a preview, like something upper. I will just scratching the surface. It doesn't actually work like this. Many things are involved in this thing. Like it's a separate, measuring a qubit is a separate topics and error measurement, and so all the things come here. It's just scratching the surface, like giving you preview how the measurement thing works and why this thing collapses inside. You will see this thing in classical classes as well. for now, just remember that when you measure a qubit, it collapses in either 0 state or a 1 state. Just remember this from for now. Okay. So what after that? Probability. Like I said that if a photon is in this state and we have a polarization in this state, then and this is theta, then probability of being passed from this polarizer will be cos square theta. Okay, so the same thing goes for the quantum qubit as well. Like say, let's say we have a quantum qubit Q0 in a state x0 plus y1, and it's in a state like this. Okay, and we measure it. We measure it and put the values on a classical register C0. Okay, so probability of C0 being in 0 will be x square, and probability of C0 giving a signal like something like this, a signal spike, and we will consider that as 1, will be y square, and adding both two we get x square plus y square is equal to 1. So this is your probability. So if let's say x is 1, and by this formula we should say that y is 0, and if we measure this thing, we will have 100% probability probability of 1 of getting no signal in that classical bit. So we will say that it's in 0 state. So this probability thing is for 1 qubit, right? So what I gave you, that a quantum state Q, a photon is in this state, and if we observe this in a polarizer, we get this or no signal. But as I said that if we have an intensity like multiple number of photon passing through this thing, so if it's I, so we will get I cos square theta. So just like this thing, if we do multiple measurement of this, like let's say we have a state of x0 plus y1, and we do multiple measurement. We make this state and we take measurement. For first try we get 1, for second try we get 0, for like for third measurement we get 1, for fourth measurement we get 0, and by like doing this like for 1,000 times we end with 0. Okay, so we will see that how many ones we get. Like let's say we got for 1,000 measurement we got 500, 501 and 500 0. So what we can say that the probability of being in 1 and 0 was equal, right? Because we got both. If we measure 100 times, both are 500. Just like tossing a coin. If we toss a coin, it will 100 times. It will give heads for 500 times, more or less, and head for 500 times and tails for 500 times, and plus minus you get plus minus 50 or something like that. So from this we get our state back, that initially for one measurement the thing collapsed, right? For if we do multiple times we get this. From here we can say that x square was 0.5 and y square was 0.5. So from here we can say that our x mod was something like 0.5 under root, and y was something like this, right? Did you guys get this thing? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, Bhuvnesh.
Did you guys get this thing?
Yes.
How even after getting the state collapse, we can get what x mod and y mod should be?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So why do I write x mod and y mod? Why can't I write x is equal to under root 0.5 and y is equal to 5? Do you guys have any answer? Like try for yourself and find an answer for this. Uh, uh, Whatever comes in your mind, just tell me. Like why can't I write x is equal to 0.5 under root or y is equal to under root 0.5? Why I have to write mod x?
Is X and Y are vectors like things?
Uh, X and Y. I gave you that x and y are this thing. This state of a qubit can be in complex number and complex number, right? So it's x and y are element of the field, not a vector. Like a vector space V, field V. This 0 and 1 belongs to this vector field, vector space, and this x and y belongs to the field. So x and y are both complex number. Sorry, belongs to complex number. Just think about it. Why can't I write this thing is equal to this thing is equal to?
X and Y may have some imaginary component.
Okay. So why can't I write something like, because x and y can be in this thing can are in complex state. So let's say we have something like this 0.5 under root 0 plus under root 0.51, and we have another state 0.50 minus 0.51. So if we see this thing, if we measure this thing, what will it be its probability? The square of this thing. So it will be 0.5, and for this as well, it will be square of this. Okay, and if we see for this, if we take a plus here and take this, it will have the same probability, right? Comma 0.5. So because of this thing can this because of this being a complex number and a real field as real number as well, we have x square sorry, x is equal to plus minus that under root thing. I will have to write this thing like this thing. No, okay, initially we have to write like this. Okay, means if we have plus minus, but now if we have a 0.50 plus iota 0.5 and 1, still we will get 0.5 comma 0.5 probability. Okay, so we the mod of this thing will be equal for all, but we can't say about the sign. So we can get the approximation state state vector, but we can't get the exact state vector. What was the exact state vector? So we can say that x ka mod should be something like 0.5 ka under root and y ka mod is under root 0.5, but we can't say exactly what x and y is. Just like if we take x square is equal to 5, then we can't say that x is equal to under root 5 exactly. As in real number case, we can't say that. But going in complex state, it's more complicated, so we give mod of this thing will be equal to 0.5, and we can't say anything about the sign 0.5 iota or something like some a naught plus iota y naught whose mod is equal to 0 under root 0.5. We can't say about that. We get a rough approximation what x y be, but we can't get the whole thing. Okay, so doing it x. So at the end, what we get, x of 0 plus y of 1 is equal to, gives us probability of x square being in 0 and y square being in 1. Let's see this thing in our quantum simulator. Okay, so the first can you guys open the this uh, uh, what measurement qcc dash iserk underscore measurement file. Open this file, you will see something like this. All things are written. You just have to change this one.
Can you write the link on the comment box?
Actually, this is in my my profile, like something. You will have to open your this quantum IBM thing, and then go into your file, like something like this. You will wait. You will write IBM IBM experience. You will search for IBM experience, then you will get from here that IBM experience. If you have an account, you will be logged in into it. If you don't have, just make it. It will take 5 minutes or so, or log in it. Then you will have to go to the quantum labs. Then in that thing, I asked you to upload it, right? So it will be something here. It somewhere here, and this right. If you open it, your file will be opened. It will take some time, like 1 minute, and it will be open. This is my file. Okay, just open this file and tell me if you just tell me that you have opened. Like I will start from here. Just,
Hello, Bhaiya.
huh.
It is showing that no module named Qiskit textbook.
No module name. Okay, so you haven't done that thing. Okay, to skip text. Do we need that thing? Let me see. Measurement. We don't need that thing actually. We'll be needing that for okay. Just upload it on this IBM experience for now. You will have to install that Qiskit text as well. These things are not that important, but I will be using that. Just upload it in that thing. It will take like 1 or 2 minutes.
We have to log in, no?
Yeah. Okay, so I have to. Uh, CMath. Using CMath. Okay. So I will be using CMath for that complex, using writing complex numbers. I forgot how to write that thing. CMath complex. Okay, yeah. Okay, now remember. I can write something like print complex 1, 1. Yeah. Okay. So,
Hello, Bhaiya.
yeah.
Actually, I am having problem to upload it. Can I just look through your what you are
Yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah.
and
Just
going
remove.
to simulate the data?
Uh, just just comment this thing out. This command
Okay.
from Qiskit textbook.tools. Just comment it out.
Okay.
Complex 0.5, 0.5. What did I do? Oh, I forgot the T. And I will initialize PC dot initialize comma 0. Let's see what happens. Some of them we cannot equal to 0. Oh, ah, hmm. Power 0.5. Oh, why can't I do that? 0.5 square 6.5 under root 1 by 2. Uh, uh, okay, showing some errors. I can. What's the 1 by under 2 is something like 0.7, right? I won't be making this thing. Right, 0.7 and 0.7. One shit, man. What's going wrong here? Okay, okay, wait. So let's go with 1, 1, 0, and 0, 0 for now. Okay, and oh, okay. So what I did here is copy this statement. Okay, Control C. I will be giving this statement in the chat. Just copy and paste it there. Okay, okay. So let's go from the starting. I will be explaining you all the codes, and then we will go through it. Okay. So initially, what we do is we import libraries from this the quantum that Qiskit thing for running the Qiskit commands on our
Could you please
Python.
zoom it?
You guys have the files, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You can see there also. So these are the libraries that we will be using for this circuits. Like this is quantum circuit, which we will be defining our circuit. This is execute, where we will be executing our simulations. These are the simulations. This is our IBM Q account. transpile. Before transpile, we will be talking about transpile is like reducing the circuit, like, and assemble is also that thing. Visualization is for that this thing, then this thing, and others. So these are the importance import that we will have to do. Okay, so then I generally import NumPy as NP, and from NumPy I import Py as well. Like, I don't want to write everywhere np.py, so I import Py as an individual from that NumPy, and I use CMath for the complex number thing in Python. So I always import these three things as well. These things are mandatory, but these things are up to you. You can use any other libraries if you want. So I use these three. So then this thing is for this thing is another way of simulating it. So we will see that see that also. Okay. So first we define a quantum circuit, something like that. This is our circuit. We define it. I'll be going through step by step for these things. For now, just see that this is defining your quantum circuit that you will be working on, and this is just a barrier. This thing, like, for making it look like beautiful, beautifying your circuits. So for now, just concentrate in the in this section, like your codes, your circuit codes between these things. So I gave you the codes, right? Just copy and paste it on there, and then also write print your vector. That's it. Your vector will something look something like that. What does this thing is? It's one. The thing is, you have 1, 1. Oh, sorry, 1, 0, right? The vector is something like this, 1 and 0. So what your psi is in state 1, 0. What does this mean? It's in this state. Okay. So if we measure this thing, like, go to the measure section and just measure it, and then plot it. You will see that getting 0 probability will be 1. From this, just ignore the state vector part. I will be covering that as well. For now, just ignore the state vector part and go to the measurement thing. When you go to the measurement, you will see QC dot measure this thing. This is the measurement. This one is your measurement thing. This measures your quantum bits on a classical bit. It gives a signal from here and give it to the classical circuit. Then this thing, you won't be running these codes on an actual quantum computers. The Qiskit has a simulator that simulates the actual quantum computer, like ideal quantum computer, and give you the results. So this is your QASM simulator, and we will be using this for our backend. Like, backend is something like on which you run your code. And the thousand spots, like, for I told you about tossing a coin, right? If you toss a coin 100 times, if it will give you probability in being 0, being head 50% of the time, and being tail 50% of the time. So these things are just sorts, like how many times you want to run this circuit on that simulator. Okay. So and this thing is execute, like execute QC. What this says? Execute your quantum circuit QC that I defined earlier. This thing on the backend that we choose to be this, and how many sorts, how many times you want it to run. I want it to run for 1,000 times, and then we will return our result. So if we do this, and and plot, then we will get something like this. For being in zero state, zero, the probability will be 1. So we started with a state something like this, right? 1 and 0. Let's make it 0 and 1. What it will be? It will be 1 iota and 0 this time. So now our new psi state is iota and 0. What does it tells in that vector space thing, basis thing? It says like something like this: iota, iota 0. And if we run this thing, then we go to measurement, then put a measurement on that, then run it 1,000 times, and then plot what we get. So it still will be 0 and 1. The probability won't change. So until unless you change the magnitude of that xy, like here we had a x is equal to 1, right? Here, and here you have a x is equal to 1 iota. X square mod, this thing is mod, not amplitude. This thing is mod. Okay, so this is 1, and x square amplitude is equal to 1 as well. Okay, so this thing, until unless you change the magnitude of x, this square and this mod, like for this it will be x square will be -1, right? So minus you can't get a thing for -1 times. It will be x square to mod. So make these thing as mod as well. I forgot to write it here. I used here, but I forgot to write it here. It will be mod as well. Okay, so if you see this will be also be equal to 1. Until unless you change the magnitude of this thing, it won't. It will always give you 1. Let's say we give me a complex number whose magnitude is equal to 1. Okay, any one of you just give me a vector whose magnitude is equal to 1. Just unmute yourself.
2 plus I by root 2.
What? Just once again. Okay.
1 by root 2 plus I by root 2.
1 by root 2. 1 by np dot sqr, something that x right by root 2. Let me check if I have this thing. np dot sqr is a term or not. sqrt, something like this. Yeah, np dot sqrt. Where was it? sqrt 1 by under root 2, and you want this thing also equal to np dot underscore, right? So okay, so I run this thing. Okay, so your vector being this. So what did you tell? You have a 0 square root 2 plus iota 1 by square root 2. Okay, so magnitude of x is still 1. So if we run this thing is 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, comma 0. Okay, so we do this, then we go to the measurement one. We put our measurement gate there. We make run that thing 1,000 times, then plot it. Still be 1. So until unless you change the magnitude of x, the thing will be 1. Let's change the magnitude of x. Now let's go 1 by root 2 of 0 plus 1 2 of 1. Okay, so this will be we initialize that thing 0. We take that out. We put a 0 here. and we do this thing. Okay, so let's see. So now your state vector has been changed to this. It's a 1 by under root 2 plus 1 by under comma 1 by under root 2. It's something like 1 by under root 2, 1 by under root 2. It had been changed to this. So what does this say? It's like this, as this thing is 1 0 and this thing is 0 1, right? So if we see this and do our measurement thing, now we will see that being 0, we have 519 number of slots that counted as 0, and 481. Okay, so the total is here. So 519 counts from 1000 gave you a 0, and 481 counts from that 1000 gave you a 1. So if we plot the probability graph, we get 0.519 probability of being in 0 state and 0.481 in being in 1 state. Now let's change this vector, this y vector, this y, and make it as like this. So our new psi is something like this. Our new psi is something like this: 1 by under root 2 iota 1 by under root 2. Still the magnitude is same, x and y magnitude is same. So if we run this, then now we measure this thing 100,000 times, still the thing will be equal to that 50% and 50%, right? It's 0.51, this is 0.49. So until and unless we change this magnitude of this x and y, we won't be changing anything. So if we see here, so what did we if we want to backtrack it, like say we don't know anything about this, we just ran the circuit and the answer came to be this. So by this we can't just say that it will be in this state, in this state, or what I did earlier, like this, it will be in this state. We can't say that. We just know that probability and magnitude will be x, what the magnitude of x and y will be. Okay, so that's how we measure and take the probability of psi. So what was my next thing that I was supposed to do? I did this thing, superposition, this thing. Okay, so next was your measurement. I did this thing. Okay, linear algebra. Okay, so I forgot about that thing. So just to visualize how this thing work, let's see an example. Like say let's see a physical example. You guys see a coin, imagine a coin revolving in that spinning on a table. Okay, sorry, imagine a coin spinning on a table. So if I ask you, is it a head or tail, what will you say? Just unmute yourself and tell, is it head or tail? Hello?
We can see it after the measurement.
Yeah. So it's right now it's spinning. It's in, like, it's not exactly what a superposition is, but for like imagination thing, like visualization thing, I took this example. If it's spinning, you can't say exactly what state it will be if you measure it. So when we measure it, like say I slapped the coin on the ground, okay, on that table. So it will, now we measured it, we made it collapse in a state, a head or a tail. We made it collapse in one of the state. Just like this, a qubit, a spinning qubit, you can think a spinning qubit as in a superposition state, x0 and y1, and these heads and tails as 0 and 1. But after we slam it in on the table and take the measurement, we can't get the spinning thing again. Like, we can do it by spinning it again, but if we just leave it there, we can't get the superposition back, the spinning back. It won't spin on its own. We will have to make it spin again. So it's just a vague connection between this thing. So if you want to visualize a qubit, you can take a coin, like a biased coin to be exact. So this 1 by root 2 and 1 by root 2 thing can be a exact coin that gives you 50% 50%. But for other state, you can assume that this coin is biased by some way. Like, if it just give head, then both side are head, and something like that. You can assume something like that for visualization. That's not the actual representation, but just for visualization. So for superposition, it's in the same state. Like, something, I had a video of that thing, right? uh, if I go in this state, it had a beautiful representation of that. What I want to say, it had this thing. So let's assume this as a qubit. Okay, so the bird is assume the bird as in one state. Okay, as one, and the case is your zero state. So in the superposition, you can't actually tell that in which state it is, right? Let's say I paused it here, it's still spinning. You can't say that it's in superposition. You can see the bird as well as the that case thing, right? But as soon as we stop it, like we measure it, so as soon as we stop, as soon as we stop it, we are measuring it, like take it as a measurement. So as soon as we stop, either a bird or that case will appear, not the superposition. Okay, so yeah, it's a visualization thing, just for visualization, not more than that. So I'll be going through some of the linear algebra as vector to vector space to vector space transformation. Do you guys want some 5 to 10 minutes break? Then we will start that again. Or do you want to leave right now? I will be taking like continue this session next week or something. If you guys want to do it right now, just tell me. I will do that thing also. Just unmute yourself and tell me if you guys want to leave or continue this thing.
I would like to continue.
Other two, Sovic. Sovic, do you
I
guys
have
want?
another question.
Yeah, yeah.
Wh- Where in which file I can run it from the website?
Which file? I didn't get you. Like, which file?
One means when I am in the library, there
Yeah.
are multiple options.
Okay, wait. Can you present your screen? I will see that what's your telling. I will stop presenting. Just present
So
your
there is
screen.
chemistry circuits and one minute.
Okay, just present your screen. I will walk you through. And Subham, do you want to continue or should I stop right here? I can do the session by 5. Okay, okay.
Can you see?
No, no, no. You are not presenting anything. You will have to click that, select that whole screen thing, and then select OK.
Share.
Present, then entire screen, then click on OK. Select that screen and say OK.
Share is coming. Can you see now?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Now I can see.
Now I have gone to the website and library. Here is multiple things: chemistry, advanced,
No.
finance, noise.
Yeah. Okay. So just scroll down a bit. Scroll down.
Where simulators?
Yeah. Right now, import that thing. You see import, right? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Import your files there. I gave you two files, right? In WhatsApp, I sent you two files.
Sorry, I have not still it now.
Okay, so just download it and upload it there. Then you will be able to
Okay.
run that. Okay,
Okay.
so
Actually, I
And
think
we have to
Speak
first
is not
sign up,
our
no?
WhatsApp group.
yeah, you won't have to install
We have,
anything. It has all the things installed. You just have to upload it. Yeah. Okay,
we
Jyotika.
have to
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah,
have to sign up first, no?
yeah. You
Okay,
are
I have
opening
signed up.
that thing means you are signed in, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Jyotika, you were telling something.
Nothing. Okay. It's okay.
Okay. So I don't think I will be able to wrap this thing up till 5. Uh, yeah, I have a
So can I ask a question?
yeah. Okay, so
Uh,
let's do this thing in next session. I will do these things like gates and other things, vector space and other things in the next session. Just wrap these things up for now. I will see if I can do that thing in another session for 1 hour. Okay. Yeah, just ask question.
uh, let assume that I want to send you a letter A, and A is coded as 1010. And
Yeah.
now if we use the quantum system, then we cannot say, if we measure, we cannot say it will be 1 or it will be 0. Then how can I send A to you? How can I say 1 after 0, then 1 and 0?
Uh, okay. So you can have the superposition as well as the non-superposition state, right? If you just leave that qubit as it is, it will be in zero state. If you want to use it as a classical bit, just use the X gate. Okay, wait. Let me show you. Where is it? This thing. Okay, so how does a classical bit works? If this is your classical bit, you send a signal 0. It won't
Are you
respond. It will be.
presenting something?
Oh, okay. So sorry, I forgot to present the screen. Sorry. Sure. Just tell me if the presentation is visible.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah. Okay. So if you send a signal of 0 to that classical bit, it won't get any signal. It will be just like this. Okay. If you send 1, the thing the initially it was in 0 state. It will just make a 1 and send this signal to the other side like this. Okay. So uh, just yeah. Okay. Where is it? This thing. Okay. So if you want to use your quantum bit as a classical thing, uh, if you want it to be in 0, just leave it there. It always be in a 0 state. Like if you leave the quantum bit for like 2 or 3 seconds, it will collapse and it will just uh, uh, not collapse. It will gradually go reduce. Like, what can I say that it will lose its energy and go to the 0 state. So all the qubit left are in 0 state. Okay, so initially we start with 0 state. So if you want to send it in a 1 state, just apply a X gate. apply a 0. If it's 0, apply a x, it will be 1. Then it will be measured, and you will get a 1 state as your in the classical register. Okay. So does this answer your problem? Like, we can't use this quantum bit for our transform that for the classical way of transferring data. You can transfer data with this quantum bits, but that's we need another algorithms for that. We can't use this classical way of doing the transfer.
So if I say that the x polarized light is 1, then I have to send a x polarized light to you for
Okay,
1.
yeah. Actually, that's not the how the photon qubit works, but I only told that to visualization, just like coin. I said you that assume the coin as your qubit, right? So it was just for visualization, and that how you can connect that probability thing, nothing more. The actual photon qubit doesn't work for only for that 0 and 1 as x and y. It was just for visualization. Okay.
I have listened somewhere that the quantum computer use 3 digits. Is it
Okay,
right?
wait. 3 digits? No, I don't use 3 digits. It's the only state it can use is 0. It after measurement it collapse in 0 state or 1 state. So at the end we can get only 2, 0 or 1.
Okay.
In between, there are infinite number of state it can be in. Like, if you see the
Mm.
previous session, I showed that there is a vector space Q defined in such way that the qubit can stay in any of the vector being in that Q. Like the vector space. Okay, I will just show that the Q was defined in a way that a V is x comma y such that x comma y belongs to complex number, and x square plus y square, this thing, is equal to 1. Sorry, wait. Yeah, this thing, or x ka mod ka whole square plus y ka mod ka whole square is equal to 1, something like this. Okay. So if we see this state, any vector v in this q in this vector space q can be a state of your qubit q naught. A qubit q naught can take any vector in this vector space. So there are infinite number of state that a qubit can take. Right? A qubit can take. Okay, so that's why the superposition things work. Okay, do you have any more question?
Practically use only 0 and 1.
Yeah, after the measurement it collapses in 0 and 1, but before that we can play with the superposition thing in a way that the state collapses uh, for the answer we want.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, after the measurement it will collapse in 0 or 1, but before the measurement we can play with that, right? We don't have to be in 0 or 1 state at all the time. We can play with this thing in being in superposition thing, taking the advantage of that constructive interference, destructive interference, and other things that can be done with the superposition. So that's why the quantum qubit is much more stronger than a classical qubit. But right now we are not that capable to make thousands and thousands of quantum qubit at the same time. For the quantum computer, we are right now at the state where the classical computer were in that initial state, that like for doing just 1 plus 1, the classical computer uh, had to be a room, like huge and huge. Like it should be stored in a full room. It took a whole place of a whole room just to make addition. Like initially, when they started, like just for 1 MB or 2 MB, the classical computer should be of a size like hectares and hectares of land. It should take like 1 GB of thing will be like humongous. So right now we are in that state. We are just in initial stage for quantum computation. So as the time progresses, we will make more qubits and more qubits and more qubits and combine them together to get our work done. So okay, so I should stop this thing right now, and I will be doing that vector space and other gates thing in the next class. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, I'm getting an error message. Okay, where are you getting an error message? Like, can you share your screen and show me that? Just share the screen and show me where you getting error. Okay, yeah. Just show me the error. Okay, so QC is this the question. You didn't run the first one, right? Just go on the first cell. Just run the first cell. Okay, so now run this one. Like whenever you reopen this thing, you have to go from the first one. Yeah, now it's running, right? Yeah, okay. So if you guys don't have any question, I should stop presenting and will continue this vector space to vector space transformation and linking that to the gate matrix in the next session. Just if you don't have any question, just say no in the chat, like, and if you have, just unmute yourself or write it in the chat. Okay, no. So I have only 3 participants. So yeah, okay. Thank you.